Welcome back, everybody, to Reptile Reality. This week I'm going to feature mangrove snakes, Boiga dendrophila. Another one of my personal favorites. This female I've had for a very long time. She's a long-term captive, but the reason I'm dancing around is because she still does not like me after all these years. And when she's had enough of me, she'll go ahead and lash out and try to give me a nice bite. Now the thing with mangrove snakes is that they are rear-fanged, so if they do happen to bite you, the most important thing is you don't want to just sit there and let them chew on you, because if they do chew on you, they'll open up a little wound, and some of that saliva can get into the wound, and if you're unlucky, especially if you have an allergic reaction, it can be pretty bad. So anytime rear-fanged snake, you definitely don't want to let them chew on you. But this is a female, she's fully grown, and she eats rodents, and I actually have to be a little bit careful because if I feed her too much, she'll actually become obese. Now in the wild, most of the time they're eating birds, frogs, other reptiles, and even each other. Sometimes they have been known to be cannibalistic. So in captivity, you have to keep that in mind. You house them together, you might end up with one missing in the belly of another. Now the key to mangroves is that most of the time the animals that are available are wild caught, and they're already dehydrated when they get here after that long journey, and because they're not that expensive, they don't get taken care of properly while they're being housed overseas and that sort of thing. So if you get a compromised animal from the get-go, they're not going to establish and do good for you. So you got to make sure that whatever animal that you get, you're getting one that at least has some good body weight and is not railed out thin where you can see all the rib cage and all that. And then you stand a pretty good chance at getting them established. You need to figure out what their diet preferences are and kind of cater to it. You may have to do some scenting. You may have to actually feed them the prey that they're accustomed to taking. And you can usually work with them from there and get them established. Now normally mangroves are jet black with bright yellow bands. I think because this female is a little bit older, her bands have really faded. They're really, really muted. You can almost just barely make them out there. And she's kind of inflating herself because she's not very comfortable. Kind of letting me know that her tolerance is running quite thin. So the next one that I'm going to show you, I'm really excited about. I haven't had this one for very long. It came about, it was maybe a month and a half ago. Now I was told that this animal was feeding on chicks on the farm. And when it got here, the very next day I offered it a rat pup, and I couldn't believe it, it took it. So basically what we're looking at here, this is a wild caught adult from Sumatra. And you'll see in a second why I like it so much. It's lacking all the yellow bands. So basically what we have here is a melanistic Boiga dendrophila. Still has the yellow labials and just a little bit of yellow on the neck towards the bottom. And then on the ventral side, it does have some yellow. But this thing's something else. I've never seen one like it, and I just can't believe. You know, it's always the cool stuff that doesn't want to eat or isn't going to do well for you, and this one's just thriving for me. So I'm off to a wonderful start. I'm really excited about this one. I don't know if it's genetic, but I'm bound and determined to find out if it is or not. So we'll just have to wait and find out on that. So anyway, really lucky. You know, mangrove snakes aren't very difficult to breed in captivity. The key is just getting animals that thrive for you in captivity. And once you get over that hurdle, then the rest is usually not that big a deal. The eggs are not super difficult to hatch. And once you hit that milestone, you're on your way to captive bred mangroves. So that's what the hobby needs, you know. We need that captive bred stock and get a couple generations down the road, and then that's when that's when you can safely say that this species is established in captivity. So anyway, it's another one of my favorite mangrove snakes. So while we're on the topic of captive mangrove snakes, I got a whole handful here of captive hatch babies. I was lucky enough, I received a gravid female and she laid eggs, and they hatched here about 5 weeks ago. Now I've had really good luck with getting these guys to feed. About 2/3 have already taken unscented day-old pinkies for me. So these guys are well on their way. They're not going to be available right now. I want to make sure they get some more meals before I do anything with them. But this is the stuff that I'm talking about. These situations are sometimes what it takes to get stuff established in captivity. You raise these guys as these captive hatch babies, and then the breeding and everything is just so much more easier from there. So if you think that mangrove snakes are something that you'd be interested in working with in your own collection, you can message me below, or you can send me an email through my website at dmexotics.com. All I ask is that you make sure you do your own research and make sure that boiga and rear fang snakes in general are legal in whatever city or county or state that you live in, because I won't knowingly ship to anybody when it's a violation of their laws. So anyway, there you have it, baby mangrove snakes. Thanks for watching, you guys.